Well, today, everybody, in this video, we're going to be talking about how I use the Line 6 Helix live. Let's get into it. So what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. My name is Ray. I'm a guitar player here on YouTube, and a little spoiler alert, little news bulletin. I'm going to be playing live soon, very, very soon, and I am so excited, man, and I have the itch to get in front of people again and play my music. It's just really, really exciting. I'm getting all jazzed up thinking about it, and yeah, man, I need to start figuring out how I'm going to be doing that. Enter the Line 6 Helix. Now, before we go any further, this is not a sponsored video. This is me and you hanging out and, just talking about gear and just, being a couple guitar nerds, okay? This unit right here, this Line 6 Helix, I bought myself with my own money, no sponsorship here, and I've been jamming on it and playing through it as of late, last couple months. But anyway, with my album, with my solo stuff, Chronic Pain, there's a ton of different variety on that album and a ton of different layers and everything. And what I realized that, prior to me doing solo stuff in a band setting, I just needed to be good at one thing and one thing only, and that was predominantly rhythm playing. Now that I'm, the sole composer of all the music and everything, and I need to be the lead player, the rhythm player, all the above, I really just can't get away with like a simplistic setup, and I don't have the funds and the means to have like, a massive rig, right? So I got to do the best I can with what I got, and the Line 6 Helix is just a perfect solution to having a ton of effects, a ton of different cleans, crunches, high gains, leads, all the above, pitch shifting, etc. All with the click of a button, and I don't need to like just tap dance to turn off a whole bunch of different things with like the real deal analog pedal world. So orientating you to the board itself, currently just have the tuner on so it's not loud. But there's two different ways you can run the Line 6 Helix. I'm very naive to the Line 6 Helix. I'm still learning it as I go. But I do know that there's two different ways to run these things. You can either run it to where you have different, I guess we'll call them just like massive rigs. Or you could do what I was doing prior to making this video, is you could dive on in to a rig, and then you can program turning off different pedals, we'll say, effects, with all these buttons right here. Like I could turn off my tape delay, my reverb, my pitch shifter, all the above, my phaser, etc. You can do all that inside of a preset, but I found out that with just having one rig and trying to turn up a whole bunch of different pedals, we'll say, was just not doing it for me, because there's spots in my album where like I'll go from a drop pedal metal riff into a up-pitched standard tuned guitar lead setting at like the drop of a hat, like just one measure. So I can't afford to like be tap dancing to try to be in time and in tune and on key, all the above. So now I just have it to where I have a clean setting, a rhythm setting, and a lead setting. Very, very simple, very straightforward. But it took me a while to get to this point, and I've just been building these patches recently, and it's just easier for me now where I just have like 3 rigs, just full-on distinct 3 separate sounds. And if I really want to get into the nitty-gritty and get nitpicky, I can program, like I was showing you before, I can program different effects within the rig. I don't think I'll ever get this in depth, but I might. But for right now, I just have 3 settings. So it might be a little long-winded intro here before I get to some tones, but I just want to let you guys know that's my thought philosophy and just where my mind's at with the Line 6 Helix, okay? All right, now let's get into some tones. First up, clean, the least used setting I need for my album tones and or my playing in general. So basically I have a Who What 100, which I think might be a high watt 100. But anyway, that's like my main amp here, and then just a simple delay and reverb. I got a Univibe, because I love Univibes. I love, I love that whole Band of Gypsies type of sound live at the Fillmore. So like I love Univibes and stuff like that. But the only time I would really ever need this for my album tones would be the intro to A Starlit Cavern is probably the hardest thing I've written for the album. And yeah, anyway, goes something like this. And then I could put on the, I think it's called the Minotaur, let's just like the Klon Centaur, for a little bit of dirt. But I really honestly don't really have much use for that sound other than that intro of that one song. So this is very like a soundscapey thing. And honestly too for fun at home because, you know, I'm allowed to jam and have some fun at home with some clean stuff. But playing my album live, I really would only need that for the intro. But honestly, I think I might even just like stay with my lead setting and roll down the volume. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, that's my clean setting. So this is my rhythm setting. Pretty simple patch again. Everything's pretty simple until it gets to the lead setting, and I think I have a lot of different moving parts there. But basically this is just a noise gate, an overdrive, amp, cab, and then reverb delay if I ever need it for some weird reason. But this is basically just a Bogner Ubershaw, German Ubersonic, you know, that's what it's called. So put two and two together. I use this exact patch for my drop F stuff as well with my Squier baritone or my Balaguer baritone. This is my main heavy sound. One thing I find interesting with the Line 6 Helix from my experience, it seems like there's a lot of gain on tap with all the amplifiers. Like they're all just roaring beasts. Like the preamp's only on 4 here and there's just a ton of gain. I don't know, like if I dial it down to 2, like 2 in my eyes is barely on, right? Like even 1, like I think I could get some high gain tone out of it. Like one would argue this is even a great tone and a great amount of gain, and what I have it at like 4 or 5 is just too much. But I just feel like, for me personally, I always like more gain because I love pinch harmonics, and I also too, especially as a solo artist, like as a lead guitar / rhythm guitar player all in one-man show, I feel like I kind of need like that EVH kind of vibe, like rhythm / lead at the same time. So you still need a decent amount of gain in case you want to grab, you know, like in the middle of a, you know, something like that. You need the pinch harmonics and you need the amount of gain to be able to grab them. So I like to have a little bit more gain on tap than need be, I guess, for the maybe compared to say somebody else. I don't know. And for my cabs, I believe I have 2 IRs here. Yeah, 2 are the same thing, and honestly, I don't even know why I did that, but it sounds cool. I just have 2 4x12 Blackback 30s, and you can change the different mics and the distance and all that stuff. I think that might have been a mistake, so let's fix it. Let's just change the mic on 1. So yeah, there's my high gain setting, my high gain tone. I was rocking an archetype lead, I believe it was called. But I don't know, it might be just a little bit too much gain again. Yeah, here it is. I mean, I don't know, it sounds pretty cool to me. I don't know, I just think it just has too much gain. So let's go back to the Uber Sonic. We're doing a live shootout here. Yeah, I don't know, just not as like crazy in the gain section. Technical terms here, not as crazy. Yeah, I think it sounds sick, man. Kind of moving along here. Last thing I'll say is I have a Horizon Devices precision drive. With the attack all the way up, get rid of all the low end. I think for a standard 6-string guitar and drop C sharp, might be cutting out a little bit too much, but I know when I go to drop F, the attack on 6 is needed. And if you listen, like, it cuts out the low end. Just makes it tight, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I dig it. So this is my main rhythm setting. Let's go ahead and save it. And yeah, let's go on to the lead setting. Sorry I keep playing that solo. I'm really proud of that solo, and I've been playing it a ton on my videos, so I apologize. But anyway, here's my lead setting, the most complex out of the bunch by a smidge. This is what I was using as like my main rig before I made this video and before I realized I need more than what I currently had. I was trying to do everything out of one patch, but I've since renamed it to Ray Lead, and this is just probably where I'll spend the majority of my night and my time at a show. Basically, the main thing that's doing all the work here is the amp is a Rev Generator 100 on the purple channel. Drive all the way up to 9, get that liquid kind of sound that I love, that you guys hear me talk about quite frequently. And the cabs, I believe, are the 4x12 black 30s again. Yeah, and I believe there's only one here. Yep, so that's just like my favorite IR that's stock in the Line 6 Helix. But also on this patch, I will, if I decide to run it how it is right now, I will have to do a simple setup between songs, like when I do a song called Endorphins, which is dropped all the way down. Hold on. It doesn't sound like that. Okay. Now, one thing I do like about the Line 6, but it doesn't do it as good as what I'm about to say, I think the drop pedal does the dropping way better than the Line 6 Helix, but, in the grand scheme of things, this gets the job done okay. I do hear a little bit of, like, artificial, like, tough, like the Helix is trying to track where the note is and then pitch it down. You can kind of hear like the artificial weirdness going on. So I might have to do like some sort of weird thing where like I bring the drop, put it externally outside of the Helix and then run it that way. But then at that point, might as well just go full on analog. So that's the one thing that's kind of a bummer that I've found with the Line 6 Helix is the drop pitch function isn't as good as the drop pedal, but it gets the job done. But anyway, back to like the lead aspect of this tone. Script mod phase, very EVH of me to put that on there, obviously. But yeah, I just love phasers and I love Eddie Van Halen. I got an old school tape delay on here as well. So really going for like the 70s tone here. I'm on a Les Paul. So like, it all makes sense, man. I love classic vibes. But yeah, obviously anytime you put a phaser on anything, people automatically think of Eddie Van Halen. And I'm doing that on purpose. That's a good thing. I want people to think of that when, they hear me play, because it's paying respect to my hero. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of quick switching parts in that one spot of the song. But apart from that, that's the only spot that I've seen that could be a potential problem. Another spot I want to point out on the actual signal chain is something I have to do with all the rest of the patches, is I have a send return sending out of one spot on the Line 6 Helix, because then I can run it into a power section and then put this into, or have the IR from this go to front of house, or like splits the signal. And then from there I could run it into a Victory amplifier as like my power section. And I'm thinking about doing that because if the Helix goes down, then I could still at the very least make noise with my Victory, super cracking or something like that, and get through the set that way. But I just think this is just like how I think I'm going to be playing live for the foreseeable future. And yeah, I think it's a pretty cool fun little setup. Last thing I'll say, and then I'll get out of here. I love the Helix, and I love the response and the feel of the Helix. I've had a decent amount of amplifier, or modelers, pardon me, in my day, but the Helix, I think, just feels really, really good and has that response of a natural, organic, analog type of sound, type of rig. So everybody, that's going to do it for this video. Long video. Just wanted to hang out, showcase some tones with you guys, and hang out, and then show you guys what I'm using with the Helix, how I'm using it, for a live setting, all the above. So anyway, man, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I'm out of here. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay metal. See you guys next time. Later.